Chapter 16, Page of Swords. My name is Dolores Connor, but my friends call me Lola, said Lola, extending her hand. Nice to meet you, Officer Connor, said Kain, shaking hands with Officer Connor. My name is Kain Sanson, and you can call me whatever you want. I don't really care. You have my permission to call me Lola, insisted Lola. We just met. It is too soon for me to be calling you by your nickname, said Kain coldly. He just wanted to go home. He no longer had the energy or desire to deal with a stranger. My shift just ended as well, and do you want to go out and grab a beer? Asked Lola. I am not allowed to drink beer anymore, said Kain, stating a fact. Are you a recovering alcoholic? Asked Lola, folding her arms. No, I'm just not allowed to drink, said Kain, sighing with frustration. Others can get drunk every once in a while, but I come home drunk once and it becomes a family crisis. So I stopped drinking in order to avoid any further controversy, which is fine by me. I never much cared for the taste of liquor. How about a coffee? Asked Lola. If I drink coffee right now, I'm going to spend the entire night wide awake, said Kain. Coffee it is then, said Lola, smiling coquettishly. He eyed her from head to toe. She had short, chestnut-colored hair, raven eyes, a round face, pouty lips, and a petite, athletic figure. Lola, too, checked out Kain, and she liked his body, but she disliked his serial killer ashen eyes. Kain relaxed when he noticed Lola's wedding ring. He remembered a little piece of wisdom from his grandpa. Some married women are flirty, and they like to feel desire, but that doesn't mean that they had the intention of cheating on their spouse. Let's have a drink instead, lead on, said Kain, changing his tune. He didn't have any cop friends his age. He didn't consider Dante his friend because the guy would only call him to babysit Jeremy. He followed Lola's patrol car, and she eventually parked at Bahama Breeze. He had driven by hundreds of times, but he had never bothered to visit the place. He parked and he informed his father that he was having a drink with a co-worker. Is your co-worker a woman? Tested Jack. A married woman, tested Kain. Shame on you, son. Happy face, tested Jack. And he added, is she hot? Yes, tested Kain, and he wrote an answer that would make his father happy. Lola tapped on the window to get Kain's attention. Tick, tick, tick. He closed his cell phone before getting out of the car, and there was a cool breeze from the ocean, and the sun was setting over the horizon. He followed after Lola, who chose to sit at the bar, and she ordered a Bahama Rita while Kain had a Virgin Ultimate Pina Colada. So what do you want to chat about? Asked Kain after sipping his drink. The two spoke about their most recent cases. Kain ranted about the phantom thieves that had eluded authority, and Lola's department was also investigating the elusive thief. Do you ever just freeze up? Asked Lola, changing the subject. It has been happening more and more often since my car accident, but you learn to live with the fear, said Kain, referring to his panic attacks. How do you control the fear? Asked Lola before sipping her drink. I don't control my fear. I just do breathing exercises to get past the bad moment faster. And my grandpa says that fear is part of the human condition, and instead of fighting against it, we should seek to understand it. Once we understand the source of our fears, we can make peace with it, said Kain. He sounds like a great man, said Lola before nursing her glass. He certainly was, said Kain. Was? Asked Lola. He died 3 years ago, and it was my fault that he died. I became a cop to alleviate my guilt, said Kain. How did he die? Asked Lola. He got in a stupid argument with my grandma and my uncle, and they were arguing about my lack of a future, and he got so angry that he suffered a heart attack, said Kain. He wouldn't have died had I gone to jail like he wanted, but I didn't want to leave the nest. You could have just gone to community college, retorted Lola dryly. Grandpa used to say that community college is a waste of time. I either went to a good school or not at all, said Kain, remembering. Everything with you is Grandpa this, Grandpa that. Your grandpa's dead. Move on with your life already. If being a cop gives you panic attacks, then it is about time you made a career change, said Lola, not so much to Kain, but to herself. If she could have conquered her fear, she would have no other choice but to change careers. Kain opened his mouth to say more, but he chose to remain silent. He didn't trust Lola enough to talk about his panic attacks and what caused them, And since a young age, life got him used to the pain. And pain and the dread of danger was something he was familiar with. There was always a bully present in his life, and his first bully was his mother. And when he was taken to a foster home, he got bullied by two other brats who lived with him. And when his grandpa recovered his custody, his new bullies manifested in school. His torment came to an end when Malik took him under his wing, and Malik was a baseball jock, and like all jocks, he traveled in packs. And bullies traditionally avoid those they perceive as physically stronger and who travel in larger numbers. Kain started to miss Malik, and he said goodbye to his new acquaintance before driving to Malik's home. And when he arrived, he saw an unfamiliar car, and he reached into his pocket to use the house key his friend had recently given him. Kain, welcome, said Malik, pausing the game before jumping out of his seat. He greeted Kain warmly before running to play Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 with his little sister. Kain sat down beside Malik to watch his friend play for a little bit, and while roosting on the couch, he began to reminisce about his twin years with Malik, and he considered them good years for the most part. I am bored of this game. I want to play something else, said Arya before saving her progress. Something else by myself. You don't mind? I had Kain here to amuse me. You can play whatever you want, sis, said Malik before petting his little sister's hair. Arya left the couch to dig up Shadowheart's Covenant, and she was grinding for levels, and it piqued her that Yuri kept going berserk and attacking his cousin at every given opportunity. And while she was busy as dust, Malik went to the bedroom to chat with Kain for a bit. I take it that the fishes didn't bite today, said Malik. They did, but this one had a ring on it, so I let her go, said Kain, alluding to Lola. Did she give you her phone number? Asked Malik. She did, but she's a married woman, said Kain. That is her problem, not yours, said Malik. A woman need not stray if she has everything she needs in her home. Did you read that in a fortune cookie, Malik? Asked Kain. Pretty much, said Malik, opening his drawers, and he brought out a set of pajamas and undergarments for Kain. And the two used to wear each other's outfits as children, and now as adults, they continue that tradition. And he asked, are you sleeping over, Kain, or just visiting? I am just visiting, but I would like to get out of this uncomfortable uniform, said Kain, pointing to his outfit. Malik turned around so that Kain wouldn't see that he was unhappy, and instead of pajamas, Malik gave his friend a black broad pants and a Godsmack t-shirt. Kain showered and he changed out of his work attire, and when he left the bathroom, he asked the pertinent question. Who is the owner of that van parked outside your house? Asked Kain. My dad. Every year I will celebrate Thanksgiving with my dad and his new family, but this year she stayed home with us, and apparently she wishes to spend the Christmas with us as well. And she's the reason for this unexpected visit, not me, said Malik, sitting down on the bed. Does he know? Asked Kain. He only knows what my sister knows, and that is how we all like it. And he no longer cares if I live or die, so I had no reason to tell him about my problems, said Malik calmly. He was about to say more, but his bedroom door opened, and Ezra entered his son's bedroom, and he grew tense when he looked upon his son's piercing green eyes. Those eyes were the proof that the boy was not his flesh and blood. Even so, Ezra still loved the son he raised. Ezra had just turned 47, and his ashen hair was dyed black in order to look younger, and the beard was also there to serve a similar purpose. And he had operated his eyelids, and he worked out on a weekly basis, and he was married to a woman 15 years younger than himself. Your sister tells me that you are no longer possessed, said Ezra, smiling candidly. My good friend got me an exorcism, said Malik, pointing at Kain. Oh, that's good, so you're friends again, and I never did quite understand why you stopped talking to Kain, and it isn't his fault that he benefited from your drunken mistakes, said Ezra thoughtlessly. Malik, tell him, whispered Kain. Tell me what? Asked Ezra. I started going to AA, said Malik. Wonderful, so you're finally taking charge of your life. I am proud of you, son, said Ezra, placing his hand on his son's shoulder. Dinner is ready, said Rosanna. The family slowly gathered at the dinner table, and on his way there, Ezra took notice of the family photograph on top of the chimney, and this photograph was taken back when Ezra was still married to Roxana, and it showed him, Roxana, Ariel, and Malik in Disney World, the happiest place on earth. The photo now had his fame burned off by a cigar, and it was one thing for Roxana to deface him. It was another matter to keep this photo still on display. And he took the picture frame to the dinner table, and once everyone was served, he held up the photograph for all to see. Honestly, Roxana, I thought we had agreed to let bygones be bygones, said Ezra, laughing. I didn't burn the photo, said Roxana, stabbing at her chicken leg. I only had it displayed there because Ariel liked that picture, and I never bothered to look at it. So who burned off my face? Asked Ezra. The exorcist, said Ariel. There was a demon in the photograph, so she had to burn it. She? Asked Ezra. When you said exorcist, I was under the impression you had invited over a priest or a rabbi. Father Gaspar wasn't interested in helping Malik, and I asked him to come to my house to give my brother an exorcism, but the lazy bastard just gave me a pamphlet for AA. And my brother isn't a drunk, he's just, that is to say, he was possessed, and as soon as he got that exorcism, he turned back to his old self, explained Ariel. Ezra grimaced while he tried to suppress his laughter. And he knew that if he laughed, Ariel was going to feel extremely offended. Did you tape the exorcism, Kain? Asked Ezra. No, I didn't bring an exorcist to prank Malik, and we were trying to help him. And only time will tell if we succeeded, said Kain, taking Malik's hand before squeezing it to show his support. Malik smiled warmly before turning to face his food, and this friendly gesture was misinterpreted by Ezra. And since his arrival, Lorraine and Roxana had been acting weird, and he could sense that they were keeping secrets for him, and to prove his suspicions, he began to interrogate Ariel. So what does Malik and Kain do when they are together? Asked Ezra. The same thing as before, said Ariel, speaking with her mouth full, and she added, they play video games, they go to parties, they go clubbing, they take me out shopping or to the park. And if the weather allows, we go to the beach together. And what do they do together at night? Asked Ezra. They play video games before going to bed, said Ariel. Is that all? Asked Ezra. Yeah, I do not know what else you want me to say, Dad, asked Ariel. And she thought that he's asking weird questions. And I guess it isn't as right. My dad is possessed by a pride demon. Changing the subject, Ezra said, and do you want to spend the holidays with your daddy? No, said Ariel. I will take you to Disney World, said Ezra, trying to bribe his daughter. I'm bored of Disney World, lied Ariel. And she did like Disney World, but she was afraid of her supposedly demonic-possessed father, and Ezra was equally surprised and disappointed. She has a boyfriend now, said Roxana. Mom, I told you not to tell him, barked Ariel, slamming the table with both her palms. So that's what's going on, said Ezra, laughing, and for a moment I was worried that you were angry at Daddy. I'm not angry at you, Daddy. I pity you even, said Ariel, pouting. Why do you pity me? Asked Ezra, raising a bushy eyebrow. I'd rather not say. You never know who else might be listening, said Ariel mysteriously, and she didn't know if she was talking to her father or the demon. So tell me, Ariel, who's the boyfriend you did not want me to know about? Asked Ezra. His name is Oswald, said Roxana, and also became the main topic of conversation, and Malik breathed a sigh of relief, and he was happy that he was no longer the center of attention. And Ezra was saddened by the fact that his little girl was keeping secrets for him. At least now he had an explanation as to why his daughter was distant. She had a boyfriend, and a boyfriend she thought her father wouldn't approve of. And while she spoke about her boyfriend, she only focused on the positive aspect, though it was his flaws that she found most attractive, and Oswald wasn't as innocent as he pretended to be. The dinner was concluded peacefully enough, and Ezra went to the couch to watch television with his family, and instead of sitting next to her daddy, Ariel chose to sit beside her brother, and she pushed him on the couch to force Malik to sit next to his father, and in this way she used her brother to create a physical barrier between herself and her father. And while they watched television, Kain began to test his father Jack. Dad, are you still awake? Tested Kain. You know I always sleep late, tested Jack. Are you alone and is Grandma with you? Tested Kain. Question mark, tested Jack. Any something the matter? The thing is, if you are not entertaining anyone, I wanted to know if I can come home, tested Kain. This is your house, Kain, and you own it. You can come and go as you please. Or is me having a guest a problem for you, and I can always take my business elsewhere, tested Jack. No, it is just that I do not want to intrude on your happiness, tested Kain. And do you feel weird with me having a girlfriend while you're still single, tested Jack. No, that it isn't like that. I'm happy for you. It is just that I don't want to be a third wheel, tested Kain. Right now there's nobody at home, and you can come home to watch a terrible movie with me, or you can continue fishing for a mate, tested Jack. Kain looked about the living room, and everything looked as it should be, and he decided to go home, and he went to the bedroom to pick up his things, and on his way out he got a text message from Malik. Please don't leave me alone with that man, tested Malik. You're not alone. You have your mom and your grandpa. You're going to be fine, tested Kain. Mom is a woman and grandpa is a feeble old man, and if dad decides to take Ariel by force, there won't be anyone here to stop him, tested Malik. Surely he wouldn't, tested Kain, and this is your father we're talking about. A person can change a lot over the course of 7 years, and other than our occasional chats on the phone, we truly haven't had many interactions since he remarried, tested Malik. I don't know or trust him anymore, and sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a complete stranger. Kain looked at his card before looking at Malik, and in the end he informed his father that he was going to babysit Malik yet again. Kain returned his stuff to Malik's bedroom, and he sat on the lazy boy before bringing out his Nintendo Advance. And he put on headsets to play games to kill time, and just when he was finally about to kill Copy X, someone removed his headset, thus removing his concentration. Time for bed, Kain, said Rosanna. Geez, thanks, said Kain, pouting. It was game over once again. That's like a recurring joke with him trying to defeat Win Mega Man Zero, and then random things happening to conspire to keep him from making it to the end.